attitude.
Yes.
So, yes, our master in the Gita, I have covered some part of the Gita last year, but I have not covered it deeply. Uh, why? Because of you guys. So, there are 18 chapters, and in the second chapter, if I translate in an American way, so the master there in the teaching says that we have to be a contributor in our life, not a consumer. What it means, what is the meaning of being a consumer? Consumer means that joy of attachment, pleasure, joy of attachment, craving for pleasure outside. So anything that brings the joy with an attachment or pleasure from any situation outside, it makes me a consumer. Take a simple example. She has been with me for a couple of years, and he just wrote me that it makes me crazy. I have invited so many people on the Thanksgiving, and I have to cook the food. It puts me into the stress. That is a perfect example to be a consumer. You see, out from outside, it appears that, oh, she has invited so many people, she is going to cook, she is going to serve the food, and it's such a great lady. But you are a consumer. Means what? I seek an appreciation, I seek a recognition because I have invited people. Some form of recognition, some form of appreciation, and that she openly told me that, if people do not appreciate me, it I continues to be in a stress after every Thanksgiving. And every Thanksgiving, I invite almost 10 to 15 of my relations. No, I'm doing such a good job. I'm inviting people, but I'm a consumer. So the master says if I'm a consumer, even if I do the best thing to the people, I donate a lot of money to become a consumer, it is not going to change myself. It is not going to bring peace in my life. There is no calmness. So now understand that what exactly is being a contributor. It is it begins with your mind and emotions. Can I share? Can I share some peace and happiness? Can I bring some peace and happiness? In consumer, you are a taker, you are a grabber. It is the joy of attachment. In being a contributor, you are a giver. If mentally, intellectually, emotionally, first I become a contributor, how can I give you the peace and happiness, the joy? That strips your mind from being a consumer. So now, so I told her that, your focus this Thanksgiving should be this. We had almost 2 or 3 hours of the session, and she raised a lot of questions. So I said, no, you just become a contributor. What it means, you are going to cook the food in the kitchen and think that I'm going to cook the food to express my peace and happiness. I have nothing to do with anyone's behavior and attitude, whether they appreciate my food or not. I have invited them to give. I have invited them not to consume. Modern society, the modern world, what we say, the consumerism. So that's why I use this word. I'm always a consumer, always a consumer in my relationship, even being a husband and a wife, in any relationship. When I'm a consumer, it always creates a duality. It creates an emotional dependence. It creates an intellectual paralysis. I'm not able to think. Look at this. I have offered everything, and this guy is criticizing me. No, he is independent. He has a right to criticize you. But when I'm contributing, it means that, I'm contributing means what? That I'm a giver of peace and happiness. So I am not expecting anything from you. I maintain that state of the mind. When I maintain that state of the mind, there is a rise in consciousness. I evolve. I understand the very nature of the world outside. And I keep the world at bay. Means what? The world outside is not going to dictate over me. And that is the message by our great masters. Buddha was stoned hundreds of times whenever he used to visit the villages. Oh, look at this crazy guy. He says peace is there. But he consistently and continued, and after all, he won it. The modern society is based on that consumer selfishness, benefit, how much benefit I should derive from you, I should extract from you, I should force you to give me. But this is only the one part of this journey in the Gita. So being a contributor, why I have to be a contributor? The Master Eastern Wisdom says, what Eastern Wisdom says, it's quite interesting to understand that. What Eastern Wisdom says, it says that ask yourself from where, starting from the nature to your ancestors, to your parents. Sophie raised the question about the well-being of her father. Ask starting from the nature, the sun, the moon, the five elements, ancestors, the relations, the friends, and the entire nature as such. How much they are contributing in our life. The master says, I have an obligation to pay back because they are contributing so much to my life. Master says this is a prescription medicine. If you don't contribute emotionally, mentally, physically, you will discover unfavorable condition in your life. And those unfavorable conditions gives you physical illnesses, mental shock, emotional problems in your life. Because I become self-limited person. I'll tell you why I'm talking of this. I have talked about this briefly. Look at the space. So the master says there is a physical space. Physical space. How far we are. There is a physical space in your room. Where are you sitting? If the space is not there, forget about any movement. Forget about you cannot listen to me. The sound waves travel in the space. So our master says that there is a physical space. But now see, if their mental space is not there, you will not feel calmness and peace. The joy, peace, and happiness always comes in the mind because of the space. You give a space to the mind. If there is no space in the mind. So that is what we say the mental space. So always, every object, everything in the nature has three layers. The way we have physical layer, physical level, the mental level, and then we have what we call the spiritual level. So just don't take it as a religious. Spiritual level means that that presence is there beyond the name and the form, at the consciousness level. So there is a spiritual space. In the when I realize the pure consciousness, I'm awakened. That is the spiritual space. Well, if you don't like to believe that, then look at this air. So we have a physical level of the air, carbon dioxide, oxygen, etc., etc. But the force by which the oxygen goes inside and the force by which the carbon dioxide is released, that forces the mental level. That is known as the prana. And then at the spiritual level, that spiritual level is the holder of the air and holder of the prana in the mind. Now let's look at the contribution. I am sleeping on the $5,000 bed, and the air continues to flow into my nostrils. I'm not at all aware, even during the day, how much contribution the air has. So all elements have basically the three levels. Like us, everything has the three levels: physical, mental, and the spiritual level means at the level of consciousness. That is holding, that is a carrier. Look at the water. Science says that without water, there is no existence of life. That's why they are trying to find out the water on the moon and the Earth, moon and the Mars and other planets. So that water also has the spiritual level. So that spiritual level keeps the space as a space, anywhere and everywhere. That keeps the water as water anywhere and everywhere. You see, whether you go to Belgium, New York, or whether you are here or go to any country, that water, essential nature of the water remains the same. Essential nature of the air remains the same. Essential nature of the space remains the same. Your house is the enclosed space. My house is the enclosed space. Nothing more than that. Remove the space, there is no house. Remove the water from the body, which is 70%, the body does not exist. Is it not a contribution by the water, air, and the space? Leave aside that. I am born as a human being. It is because of the contribution by not only by my parents, by ancestors, and the entire generation. And I'm thankless. Why you have given me birth? Because you are crazy, that's why we have given birth to you. Uh-oh, we have a very wrong argument. Their contribution. No, they enjoy it. They did the sex. That's different thing. But look at their contribution. That is why I'm born as a human being. Then that is why I was given a free intellect. A neighbor. Now look at the entire human race. The neighbor here, neighbor on each side, constitutes a community. Do you want to live in a house in a forest where there is only one house? There is an indirect contribution. The contribution by the cop, every human being at different level. Their contribution is immense. They do not send us the bill that we have contributed enough. And so by giving, by being a contributing, by mentally and emotionally, you just do nothing. And I can bet you in every, just from today, and you say, thank you, space. It is because of the space, mobility is there, movement is there. It is because of the you, I'm living in this house. Because of the water, I exist. What happens? It sensitizes you, it helps you to raise your awareness. You become responsible. You become responsible. I'm not talking of the climate change. That's a beautiful chapter in that Gita. So what happens? Why I'm not contributing? Why I become a consumer? Because of a big ego that I have. I am a self-made man. Oh, let me remove the space and the air, become a self-made man, and then I will see how great you are a self-made man. We lose the sensitivity to where I exist in this entire universe. So when I lose that sensitivity, I fall down into unconsciousness. And that is what we talk of the ego. Ego is not that. Ego is not arrogance or no. These are simple things in modern lifestyle. The ego is a I thought that limits me, that wants to prove that I'm the center of the world. I forget the contributions made by my parents, by my friends. Everyone has contributed in one way. You insult me. So I learned something that I should not be talking in a way to receive the insult. I should be communicating in a way to maintain the calm in the voice. Even those people who insult, they have a great contribution in my life. I'm not an animal. I have an free intellect and I can think and I can make a choice. Oh, this is the way. That is why. So I learned that you have made a contribution. So you find out anything. We are eating plants, their contribution. The entire, we talk of the food chain. And then there is a contribution by our great masters who passed on this wisdom. Here is a way to live and discover our real nature. Why I talked about this. Today is a Thanksgiving. So we should be thanksgiving to everything. I become aware of it. Today, after a couple of sessions, I just rearrange the entire room and maintaining my awareness. If there is no space, forget about it. You cannot rearrange anything. You cannot rearrange. And now everyone says, the room looks very nice. looks nice not because I did anything, because there is a great contribution in that enclosed space. So basically, when we say Thanksgiving, that is basically I become a contributor. I become a contributor. So every day I remember, now I don't have parents, parents, and I met my parents, obviously, and also my grandparents, my older brother, and then uncle. They are not here in this world. In my family, I'm the oldest now. I'm in a line to say goodbye one day. So at the young age, I did have a lot of challenges and reactions, but gradually I evolved and I realized their contribution. So every day I remember just for a few minutes, emotionally and mentally. Thank you, parents, you have contributed in my life. Whatever the way you contributed by becoming angry, reacting, everything, I accept that. So nothing is happening to my ancestors, but everything is happening to me. My mind changes. I have a sense of emotional freedom. Even to the students and the people, students. I thank everyone. But then I thank every student. Oh, you came to my life to contribute. In what way you are contributing? That changes your entire perspective towards the life. That is the real Thanksgiving. So I told this women that, can you do that? When you are offering, you have cooked the food, you mentally and emotionally, you think that you are cooking the food to serve them, to make them happy, to feel them happy on this Thanksgiving. But anytime, any moment, your mind says that I did not get the recognition I was expecting, crush it by becoming a contributor. So she had tears in her eyes and she told me that this is what I have been expecting. It means, had I been celebrating the Thanksgiving by inviting those people for a selfish reason? I said, that is what makes you a consumer. The consumer is always unhappy. I can bet you. You might have bought a particular car, and after a few weeks, your mind says, I should have bought another. It's a fact. That is what a consumer means. Nothing happens to the dealer, nothing happens to the car, but everything happens to you. You have a sense of regret. Oh, I paid little more to the car. Same thing with the clothes. Same thing with the food you are eating in a restaurant. Why? Because at the time of eating the food in a restaurant, I'm absent. And who is present? Ego, consumer, consumer. I told you the story of Socrates, whose wife was so cruel. He used to throw all the uh, kitchen utensils not only to her, not only on him, but to all his students. And it continued for 10 years. There was a student who was learning under Socrates. He said, now I want to marry. Socrates said, get married immediately. It's a great lesson to become a contributor. He said, how dare you say that? I was also hurt. Many times I went to your house. He said, if you get a good wife, the material world will definitely be happy for you. But if you get a wife like me, there would be another Socrates. It is purely an emotional and mental. It's a way of seeing, way of perceiving the life. You see, another Socrates will be born. I will rest in a peace. I have no issue. Get married soon. You see, that is the way we contribute. Thanksgiving is not simply inviting and sharing a gift. These are small things. But if I con- continue to contemplate and reflect in what way the entire universe and its different elements, if sun does not exist, where you are a self-made man, come on, let me see. I don't see. I don't connect myself to the sun. I don't connect myself to these elements. I do not connect myself to the plants. I do not connect myself to the animals. I do not connect myself to the ancestors, to my parents, to my friends. I connect only for the selfish reason, only for the consume. Let me consume. The more I consume, it gives me a pleasure. It's a joy of attachment. It's a pleasure from the outer conditions, and the pleasure is a short lived. Every pleasure is a short lived. Give me any object, any person, anything, any relationship by which you get a consistent, continued state of peace and happiness. There is nothing. It is only because of my mind. It is only because I'm living in a prison of ego, attachment, emotional dependence, all belongs to being a consumer, my friends. So the women told me, so that's totally a different way of looking at the life. I said, yes. The entire Eastern wisdom presents to us that there is still a higher way to look at the life and live your life and to think and speak and act in a life. Not only not only it helps you to express peace and happiness from within, but it also helps other to find the peace and calm. I said, your job is nothing to count on how many appreciations, how many praises that you receive on the Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving means that you are giving, you are not taking. So you are cooking everything just for taking. So there is one possibility, my friend. I recognize your mind. So every day I will come to your house and cook the food. I will follow your order blindly. And I want to see whether you become happy or not. You will become bored because I follow you blindly. You'll become upset. So she promised me that this Thanksgiving I'll continue to follow this, and I will see that you will change completely. You follow one day. So our master says, even for 5 minutes every day when we wake up in the morning, we look at the contributions, contemplate and think about the contributions made by everything in this universe and thankful to them. I can bet your day will pass peacefully. You'll find the least resistance in your life. There will be minimum unfavorable condition in your life. So that is what the happy Thanksgiving, simply saying happy Thanksgiving does not make any sense. Yes, let us close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Being comfortable So being comfortable means you're looking at the shoulder joints being there, feel the sensation, comfort and steadiness. Move the mind on the entire body. You see, it is awareness. You see, it's awareness first. And when I speak something, it is that awareness supports the mind to understand the language. What language you understood? I said, become aware of the entire body. It is mental communication. But without awareness, there is no mental communication. That awareness is at the spiritual level. Forget about the religion and cult and dogma. Be practical here and now. And then where we see being comfortable with reference to the physical level. The three levels are always present. We forget the we forget what is the cause of the mind and the body, that consciousness. And when you forget, then ego has a bigger space to enter to peep in. And now the same thing in being carefree. Being carefree. Being carefree means free from all the cares of the mind. Mind, it is the ego lives in the mind. And without the thought, you cannot express your ego. So we say, let the thought come and go. Why? Thought, our thoughts are separate from me. Mine is a thought, me is different from the thought. So, what needs to understand all the time if my mind has a thought of tension or depression or reaction or anger or hesitation against someone? First thing to do is to, oh, this thought, there is a thought, there is a feeling, both are separate. I am none of them. Then you can think objectively. And when you think objectively, you find the answer. Not only the answer, that you become calm instantly. The thoughts are separate from me, and mine is a thought, me is different. So we have a false construct in our mind. That false construction gathers around the I thought and brings the ego. So what we say, thoughts are coming and going, let the thought come and go, let the thought come and go. It is not easy to separate it completely from these uh, thoughts. We have not done for since our childhood. We have done nothing. So that is why I always like to give you look inside the forehead. Today you look inside the forehead first, and there mentally you say Om Shanti and keep the body steady and then start breathing. So you are breathing quick and fast breathing. First, you are doing the Om Shanti inside your forehead and you keep the body steady. So start breathing, keep on doing Om Shanti, and body remains steady. So you are tackling all the three levels. Your mind keeps on saying Om Shanti, you are breathing. Om Shanti continues, breathing continues, stillness in the body continues. And stop this. Om Shanti. Stop breathing. Bring your allow the breath to be normal. Allow the breath to be normal and move the mind slowly on the head and the neck. Just be aware, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. There is a contribution of feeling the sensation of the space, of the air. Don't we see that? I should feel good. What it means, there has to be a mental space. Look at their silent contribution, and we are thankless. That is the goal of Eastern wisdom, is to find that ultimate cause of this, ultimate cause of my existence. So again, with that attitude, look at the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips. Your mind moves there. Mind is moving on the skin, and you feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left arm from the shoulder to the fingertips. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So you're moving the mind. Moving the mind means you are aware. Because you're sensitive. Moving the mind, the middle portion of the body, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the right leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The entire body from sensation, relaxation, and stillness. In that state, become aware of the outermost layer of our existence, that is the physical body. So we have a physical body plus physical sense organs. Pay attention to that. That is very important to understand. Sometimes you see the eyes of a person is seems to be perfect. Their pupils, their blinking of the eye, leads is so perfect. But then you are sorry, you realize that person is blind. So there's a physical sense organ and the faculty of the sense organ, they are different. So that faculty of the sense organ comes from the second layer connected to the mind. And but if consciousness is not there, then faculty and the physical sense organ has no meaning at all. Do you see the three level? So now what we need to do, we want to explore the highest innermost level. That is why first level we become breath, aware of the breath. So aware of the breath, below physical, above mental. We can easily recognize that. So what happens when the mind withdraws inside? Physical level is easy to take over. A sense that is what we take over by experiencing the steadiness and the stillness in the body. But we are looking at the breath, and above the breath is the mind where the lot of thoughts are there. Let it be there. Because these they are three different levels, interconnected. That awareness is known as the breath awareness. That awareness is known as the breath mindfulness. Now, but the thought interrupts. The thought interrupts my journey. So what we do, we drop Om Shanti. So every time the breath goes in, Om Shanti follows. Every time the breath comes out, Om Shanti follows. Not only this, but when any thought enters into the mind, enters the mind, you know it. And the moment you know it, you drop Om Shanti over the thought. So when you drop the Om Shanti over the thought, means you recognize the thought has overlapped. And the moment you recognize, you drop the Om Shanti, you will discover that thought dissolves. And again, you become aware of the breath. So the entire process is very subtle. We are aware of the entire process. Can I explain in one sentence? In the state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness in the body, first level, you are looking at the breath that is going in and out, second level. You are also aware that sometimes the thought interrupts the awareness of the breath, and then you have a chance to recognize it and to drop Om Shanti on that thought. You don't get upset if there are many thoughts, need not to, because if thought is not there, we are dead. The thought should not be like a weed, it should be like a garden, our trimmed patio in the trimmed front yard. So Om Shanti is also a thought. And that takes a time. Om Shanti. So when I say Om Shanti, I'm also saying that you are aware, body is steady. You are aware of the breath. You're dropping Om Shanti on the breath and also on the thought whenever any thought enters to take it lightly. Don't take it seriously. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand. Bring your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. How are you, Sophie?
Thank you, Girish. I'm good. Even though I did the fast breathing, but then afterwards I didn't hear the instructions.
Ah, you are totally absorbed. You are somewhere else.
Yeah, but I was not asleep.
You
I
are
was not
not, yeah?
asleep at all, and I didn't have thoughts or anything. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a deep. Now, in that state, if you are talking to John, you see, I'm contributing indirectly.
Mhm.
How are you, John?
Hey, Girish, I'm fine. I think that the idea of dropping Om Shanti on top of a thought is a very helpful, very useful thing, and I will have to remember that.
Yes, now you got the clue. You know, after so many sessions, you, I have said this many a times,
I know, but
but it takes time.
it
It's
takes
a
time.
natural process. Nothing less, nothing more. So once I get it, it clicks in my mind. Oh,
Mm.
I hate Sophie, and you simply say Om Shanti. Even I love Sophie, Om Shanti. I have to be objective. So Om Shanti separates you from the rest of the activities in the thought process. So then what happens? I recognize all the thoughts are separate from me, so it doesn't make any difference whether I say I love or I hate. So then only we can go to the next step. How, from where this love and hate, thought and feeling, sensation resurface into my mind. So then only we can take care of that. Rightly, it clicked to you, never forget. So I want to make sure that anytime now you are not at all worried about any thought that comes to the
Right.
Yeah.
mind. Beautiful. That is all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you,
you. Thank you
Girish.
so much.
Thank you, Girish.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.